Last week, prior to the 2014 MLB Draft, Baseball America editor-in-chief John Manuel joined our Jack Curry on the pregame and provided a look ahead to the big event. Tonight, John is on the program once more to help us recap the Yankees' activity during the draft when their first selection came with the 55th overall pick. John, it is great to have you with us again. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, guys. Glad to be back.
So, John, the Yankees' first pick, it did not come for a while, that 55th overall selection. Jacob Lindgren, what can you tell us about the left-handed pitcher?
Well, Jacob Lindgren moved way up draft boards as the season went on, and the stats are pretty hard to ignore. 100 strikeouts and 50-plus innings out of the bullpen. And this is a left-hander who should move quickly. In fact, would not shock me if he's the first player from the 2014 draft to reach the major leagues. He's got an above-average fastball. When he's at his best, he's pitching 92 to 94 miles an hour with it. And it's a real power-breaking ball. I was texting with a scout during the SEC tournament who said, you know, today that was probably a 70 slider on the 20-80 scale. I mean, it's a top-of-the-line wipeout slider. He throws it with power in the mid-80s. It's got depth. So most of the year it was probably just an above-average slider, like a good pitch. But late in the year, it just became a great pitch. And that's when Lindgren, we started hearing that maybe the Tigers would take him in the first round. He wound up being, I think, pretty fortunate for the Yankees, who really did covet him with that first pick. So this is a guy who's, you know, not a guy who's going to pitch 150 innings in the big leagues, but he is going to be a quick impact guy in the major leagues. Now,
we know that their top 5 selections, John, were pitchers. How about just if you look at the expanse of their top 10 selections, what or who stands out most to you?
And to me, the next guy really is Austin Dakar, their second pick in the draft, because he's 19 years old, so he's old for a high school senior. He was draft eligible last year and then basically went to 13th grade this year at the Salisbury School there in Connecticut. And that was a loaded high school team, and he really pitched his way high up the mark and high up the list this year. The other guys that really stand out for me are Jordan Foley out of Central Michigan. They took some power arms. Montgomery, the left-hander they took out of South Carolina, a lot of big game experience there with the Gamecocks, where they draw 8,000-plus fans a game. So really it was that run on pitchers that stood out. Some solid college players, guys who are more grinders and don't have big-time tools with their position player guys. I actually got a Tom Lasorda comp on Mark Payton, which is not a great comp you want to get as a position player. He's a 5'8". I think it's because he's 5'8" and he wears number 2. So that's why he got a Tom Lasorda comp. But they do have 3 players in the back of this top 10 who will be in action at the College World Series. So don't take my word for it. Watch the College World Series. Watch Mark Payton with Texas. Spencer, the first baseman and the number 3-hole hitter, for UC Irvine. And then Vince Conde, their 9th-round pick, the shortstop for Vanderbilt. Solid grinders, guys who make a lot of contact, but not a lot of loud tools.
I believe that the name that's most recognizable to Yankees fans would be one of their late-round picks, and that's Mariano Rivera Jr. What, if anything, are the expectations for him, the son of the Yankee great?
Well, I think they have to be modest. Iona's not a great program in the MAAC, and he had an ERA north of 6 in the MAAC this year for Iona. So I think, number one, you got to love the fact that he loves the game enough to play and put in all the work that's required of a Division I athlete. Number two, I think it does tell you the draft is too long. The baseball draft used to go on forever. At Baseball America, it seems like it goes on forever. We enter every round on that Saturday. So we're ready for the draft to be over by the time it gets to round 40. But when you have Johnny Manziel getting drafted when he hasn't played since his junior year in high school, and you have basically a roll call of sons, and 20 years ago, Ron Schuler with the White Sox drafted his daughter, it tells you the draft is too long. So I think the draft will be more meaningful if it were 10 to 15 rounds. But again, I give Rivera Jr. all the credit in the world for putting in all that hard work to be a Division I athlete there at Iona.
Well, John Manuel, editor-in-chief of Baseball America, we appreciate the time. As always, know you have a great podcast working. Just updated the database for Baseball America, so we look forward to all of that. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.